everyone, Kay here. Today I'm going to show you one of my all-time favourite art books. It's called A Light Touch Landscape Painting in Oils by David Curtis. David Curtis is a very well-known British landscape painter who paints in both oils and watercolour, mainly on location on plein air, and has been working professionally as an artist for more than 40 years. I absolutely love this painting. I love the way David's captured the wet sand. I love the colour palette and the way the subtle touches of the way he's captured the light on the back of the horses. Absolutely beautiful. So the book comprises of an introduction written by David himself, also 5 main chapters with step-by-step demonstrations. The demonstrations are not paint by numbers. They're actually David on location, working a painting and discussing his processes and the reasons for the decisions that he's making at the time. We have a foreword by renowned artist Trevor Chamberlain, a contemporary of David Curtis, himself an influential figure in the art world and much admired for his skillful use of watercolours and oils as well. In the introduction by David, he stresses the importance of painting outside in order to truly capture the effects of light. Early and late in the day offer the best light effects, and the time of year and different locations offer different qualities of light. Here are 2 contrasting paintings, one a summer scene and one a winter scene. In the materials chapter, David talks about the supports he uses, brushes, and goes into a lot of detail about his paint palette and why he's chosen the particular paint colours that he has. For example, if we take cadmium orange, David describes this as a versatile colour for use with French ultramarine and cerulean blue to make, for example, warm and cool brown tones, and used sparingly with white and Winsor lemon. It provides a warm, intense light tone, useful for the top lighting of figures appearing against the light. And you can see this effect in the image, Sea and Sand, on page 23 of the book. David then discusses other equipment such as thinning agents and his box easel. And then we go into the step-by-step demonstration, Old Stackyard at Clayton, where David talks about his thinking process and discusses the decisions he's making as he's actually painting on location. I absolutely love this painting. It's called Pick Your Own and typifies a scene in the British landscape in summer where people go and pick strawberries. I think it's so beautiful, and David has really captured the essence of the summer's day. I wish I could own this painting. In this chapter, Making a Start, David discusses choosing a good composition and how he goes about framing the view. He also discusses timescales when producing a painting on plein air out on location. For example, a painting 24 inches by 20 might take 2 or 3 visits at the same time of day in the exact location to truly capture the essence of the scene. Look at this painting, it's just stunning. In the section Selecting a Subject, David states, in commercial terms, there are sometimes paintings you are quite excited about, but which never find a buyer for some odd reason. And here's another beautiful painting. Weather and light conditions cannot be relied upon for 3 consecutive days, so David addresses this by producing a quick sketch to obtain colour notes that he can use when he returns to the studio. The demo in this chapter is called Lakeside Boathouse and is a wonderful exercise in painting greens, something a lot of artists struggle with, and David tackles it brilliantly. So the advice here is to paint what inspires you, paint what you love, and not what you think might sell. David prefers to paint in what he calls a crack of dawn start, where there are less distractions. David talks about painting the different seasons and the challenges of painting outside in winter, but goes on to say the trials of winter painting on site are far outweighed by the special quality of light which shines out from the canvas. I'm fortunate enough to own one of David's wonderful paintings. It's called Deep Snow in Missen, and the light absolutely glows out of the canvas. And whilst the painting looks predominantly blue, just take a close-up look at these brushstrokes. Lilac, pink and green, just amazing. Printed images in the book don't do David's work justice. David discusses painting in towns and cities, land and sky. And here, reproduced in full size, is a beautiful painting of the water meadows at Missen, which is where David has his studio. Here David talks about finding character in the landscape. Just look at the colours, the way David has captured the cragginess of the rock. I just adore David's beach scenes. I think that might have to be my next purchase when I can afford it. It's genius the way David's managed to capture the movement of the sea in this painting. Here David uses a technique called counterpoint, the dark shadow of the rock against the beach. Somehow David manages to make even an industrial landscape look beautiful. And here we have a painting of the riverbed at Staithes and another of Old Humber barges. This is a study of the harbour at Staithes and reproduced in the book actual size. And now for another demo. This is of Sandbeck Hall and is an architectural demonstration. In the book, David explains exactly what he's doing at each stage, giving you insight into his processes and his thinking. And here is the final painting. Absolutely beautiful. Probably my favourite chapter in the book. David talks about small effects and details that can be particularly appealing, such as trails of smoke from a bonfire or a chimney. David discusses how colour can evoke a response or an emotion from the viewer. When I look at River Lane Missen, top left, I can feel the warm evening sunshine of summer. Another full-size reproduction of one of David's paintings, where you can clearly see his brushwork. David states consideration should be given to the key of a painting in order to convey a mood. Here in the Easter camp, David demonstrates counterpoint, the light of the tent roofs against the dark background of trees, the importance of lost and found edges to draw the eye, the timing and application of paint, and rigor strokes. Another stunning beach scene from David, the early morning swim, Sandsend. David discusses the use of a camera, and whilst this is useful as an aid to memory, the image a camera captures is flat, and nothing can replace the experience of painting outdoors if you truly want to be able to express light in a painting. In this step-by-step demonstration called Art in Action, this was a studio undertaking derived from various line drawings and oil sketches, plus photographic references which were produced on site during an arts festival held one summer. David takes you through his process of how he assembled all the components and finished the painting. In this final chapter, David advises not looking at your paintings for several days or even weeks and coming back to a painting with fresh eyes in order to reappraise it. Back in the studio, away from outdoor distractions, as soon as the painting is fully dry, David is able to reassess the work and add any finishing touches. When it comes to exhibiting, David tells us that just being professional doesn't guarantee that your work will pass the judges' scrutiny any more than an amateur, and that the competition is very tough. David encourages everyone to try and enjoy the painting process for the pleasure it gives you. And finally, David offers some key tips for the aspiring artists to take on board, one of which is practice, 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 which takes us in to David's final demo, Fifth Avenue. If you would like to find out more about David Curtis and his work, please look at the links in the description below this video. I hope you've enjoyed my review of this incredible book. I think it's a valuable addition to anybody's library. If you have enjoyed my review, please give me a thumbs up and a like and subscribe to my channel. It would really help and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.